End of the day, whatever they design, we won't like. So they might as well just do whatever, and it'll be fine.
That's very true.
Like,
And we're
yeah.
still gonna play it.
Yeah, we're still gonna play it. We're gonna hate playing it, and we're gonna complain about it, but we're still gonna play it.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Hot PvM, the show where the questions are spicy and the gameplay is sus. Each episode, I'm going to invite some of your favorite RuneScape content creators to PvM with me and answer questions in the hot seat. This week, we're hanging out with Pup, a fun-loving Brit living in the US with a need for speed. Pup is a Twitch partner with a laid-back, down-to-earth vibe that anyone can enjoy. With over 2,000 subscribers on YouTube and almost 7,000 followers on Twitch, he's a staple in the RuneScape content creation community, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes where he edits videos for the RS Guy. While he's best known for his RuneScape speed kills, he's so much more than a fast boss killer. He's got goals, a beautiful fiance, and plays on a trackpad. But don't just take my word for it, let's hear it from Pup himself. I'm your host, Ashley, and this is Hot PvM. I don't know if you watched my episode with Omid, but he said I have an outfit that might rival yours.
Oh god.
Like a preset outfit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm excited now.
I call it my RNG outfit. When I need luck in the game, I wear this. So this is set. I've had it for years.
Oh my god. Okay, to be fair, right? There's some parts I like, and then there's some parts that I actually just hate. Like, the duck ring's kind of cool. I like the duck ring. I like the Crocs. Yeah, that's about where it ends, really. See, here's the thing. My outfit's horrendous, but it's also so good. It just is. Because I'm just a big ogre just waddling about. So it all fits. It's, to me, it's an S tier outfit because it's different.
And where would you rank my outfit?
Oh. I feel like the wings make it an automatic F tier.
That's crazy.
Without the wings, I could put it as a C because I think the beard's really funny. So yeah, we'll go with the C. We'll go with the C.
Okay, that's good enough. It's brought me some good luck though, so.
That's what matters. Yeah, sometimes when I'm doing speeds and I'm not getting the RNG I need, I put on the ogre outfit.
It helps.
Never fails.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an S tier strategy.
I didn't know anything about you, your RuneScape history. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff about you, and I know
a lot of stuff about me. Have you been researching me, getting the wiki page up and everything?
I have. You have a wiki page?
No, I'm not important enough.
I didn't find one for you.
Ouch. One day I'll be relevant enough to have my own wiki page.
You deserve a wiki page.
That's the dream. That's the dream. When did I start playing RuneScape? I started around when I was 11. So that would have been 20... I'm not that old. 2012.
I don't know how old you are.
It would have been 2012.
You were 11 in 2012?
Wait, no. Wait. Hold up. Maths is hard. It would have been 2010. I'd have been 2010. 2010. I was born in 99, so it's 2010.
Okay.
Maths is not the strong suit here, okay?
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I started at school, which is I feel like what everyone started because they always had a friend or someone that just played the game, and then you're like, yeah, I'll do that. That looks fun. And I kind of played for I don't know, 2 years maybe, pretty casually. And then I kind of stopped playing until 2015 or so, around 2015. And then since then I've basically played consistently since then till now, pretty much, which is a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I missed the blob.
I did too.
Okay, we're both bad. It's as long as we're both bad, then it evens out. We can't both be. Oh, I missed the second one. Okay, it's all going well.
That's what this
Okay.
is about. Bad PvM.
It's about bad PvM, which is why you got me on.
Well, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I was hoping it was.
You're really good.
Uh,
You're really fast.
I spend a lot of time getting a fast timer, so in theory, I'm slower than everyone else,
Okay.
which is not good.
Because it takes you so long to get to the fast kill?
Yeah, because it's just so much RNG, right? Like
Yeah.
a speed kill is just so. Well, with a normal speed kill, you have the whole RNG of the actual hits, and then you have to make the rotation in the first place, figure out like the strats for everything, actually do the attempts, not mess up, which I'm really good at, and then finally actually get the hits that enough to actually kill the boss. So like in reality, like some records can take a really long amount of time just because to even reach a point where you can do the rotation is like a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I think like depending on the record, some are pretty fast, some are pretty short. Some records I'm very happy to spend a long time on. Some I would definitely want to spend less time on. Longest I've spent on a record was 120 hours of attempts. So that doesn't include making a rotation, learning a rotation, anything like that. That is pure attempts. Which was too long, to be honest.
Oh my god. And that's not the Aroxer one?
No, that is my 6-second Vindictor kill. Which rather annoyingly isn't even the best Vindictor kill. So it's like, because it just happened to be that at the time I was going for it, that was like, with the power creep we had, that was like the time that was hard. But obviously since then there's been faster kills. So, and all those faster kills took me less time than that specific kill. So it definitely was an annoying one. But then again, like, I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it, right?
Right.
Almost every single speed kill I do, I enjoy.
What do
So
you
I'm gonna
love
keep...
about it?
I don't know. I mean, and like, honestly, a huge part of it is the theory crafting the rotation part.
Okay.
Like making the rotation, I really enjoy that kind of stuff. I think stuff like that is really interesting to me because whenever you kind of have the rotation made for you, some of that fun just kind of dies, I guess. It's really enjoyable to me to like figure out, oh, I need to kill this boss in this way. And then if that's not working, you can then change it and whatever. Doing the actual attempts, sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're arguably not that fun. But I don't really ever get bored. Like I always enjoy just kind of like chilling there, doing my thing. Kind of, they're almost kind of relaxing to me. Like I know that sounds weird because it's like a speed kill that's like reasonably high intensity, but they're always kind of relaxing in the sense that once you're doing the speed, you're obviously knowing what you're doing. So there's not as much brain power and thought that goes into it because you kind of have muscle memory it by that point. So honestly, I find speed killing stuff pretty relaxing. As weird as that sounds. And then the other thing is, it's just whenever you actually get the kill, it's just always such a good feeling. Like I remember a while ago, I was teaching. I say teaching, maybe not teaching, helping RS guy get a Tarot kit skip.
Yeah.
That boss, and it took him. To be honest, he did pretty well. Like from like knowing nothing to getting the skip, I think it was like 12 hours or so, which was pretty decent. And I think near the end of it, he was starting to get demotivated. But I think once he got the kill, the like relief and the adrenaline and like the feeling of it, I think he kind of got speeds at that moment because he kind of realized like once you get that thing you're aiming for, it's like such a good feeling.
Yeah.
So like there's definitely a huge enjoyment from getting the kill done at the end.
I have never in my life tried to do anything like that. I once watched a friend trying to get I want to say it was a Grar one tick or whatever when that like first became a thing. And I watched them just teleport in and out over and over and over and over again, and I was like, bro,
yeah,
what are you doing?
I spend a lot of time hitting dummies and not much time hitting the boss. And yeah, and so generally with speeds, it's obviously different depending on the scenario, but most speed kills, if you don't get the kill, you won't kill the boss. It's just either it's like too hard to, or it's not worth to, or there's just, you basically just don't end up killing the boss. Mm-hmm. So you end up with situations where I'm spending a ton of hours, for example, like on the Vindictor kill, but after those 120 hours, I probably only had like 3 kills. So to some extent, it can start to feel pointless. When it comes to like non-speed PvM, I'm pretty like relaxed with it because I feel like it's just like it's almost like 2 different things to me. Like casual PvM is just like having a good time, and then like speed PvM, obviously the aim is to get the timer, right? Like, so if I'm not going towards the aim of getting the timer, then I'm not there for the speeds, right? So yeah, but I think speeds are just something they can be hard to explain to people that don't do speeds, that don't get it.
Yeah.
But there's just like so much enjoyment doing them. Like I definitely used to prefer speeds a couple years ago compared to now.
Prefer
they're definitely
them,
different.
like over just regular bossing or just in everything in the game?
Mainly just bossing.
Okay.
Because they just kind of, well, so they're definitely different now in the sense that there's a lot of like power creep.
Yeah.
Which has obviously changed some things. And I don't necessarily mind that because the end result is just faster kills, right? But I think it has made some rotations less exciting because a lot of rotations are kind of just the same thing with a lot of crits and stuff. I think they are less interesting than they used to be. Because, again, what I love about speeds is the theory crafting of them. And because rotations now are kind of very similar and very simple in the sense that, like, let's say you're doing a melee speed, you're just going to use Dragon Claws and then Dragon Claws and then just Dragon Claws, right? It loses some of that fun of, you know, looking at your adrenaline, working out the adrenaline, working out the cooldowns, all that kind of stuff that, like, old speeds used to have. Like, one of my favorite, I wouldn't say one of my favorite speeds, but one of the, like, most memorable theory crafting speeds was we did a trio ambassador kill a long time ago.
Okay.
And that was always memorable to me because there was so much that went into the theory crafting of it. So although the speed isn't particularly interesting or particularly impressive or anything like that, the actual theory crafting the kill in itself was really enjoyable. So that's what I enjoy about speeds a lot. It's making the kill, not necessarily doing the kill, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like recently I did a skilling boss speed kill at the Gate of Elidness.
Right.
And it was surprisingly really enjoyable to theory craft it. Because there was so much weird stuff that went into it, I guess. But obviously compared to normal kills where you just hit the rock and then wait, it's like it's pretty dull. So like it's definitely a very different boss when you're like speed killing it compared to just like killing it casually. I'm not really a fan of killing it casually, but I need the log because yeah, I was jealous. You said you had the Sanctum log. So before Sanctum, I had Gold Reaper.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
And I no longer have Gold Reaper because I haven't got the Sanctum log, and then obviously I don't have the Skilling Boss log either.
What do you need?
Sanctum, I need the pet and the shard. Is it the shard?
Wow.
Yeah, it's the shard.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't have that many kills here because around the time it came out, I got kind of busy.
Right.
But yeah, that's the log I need to get. And then the Skilling Boss, I also don't have many kills because I've been busy. I've been busy speedcutting it, which essentially means I've been walking in and then teleporting out and repeating. So yeah, both of those I need to get the log done for. I definitely enjoy log hunting, but it can get pretty dull if the boss isn't exciting, I guess.
What makes a boss exciting for you?
I mean, okay, it's the Skilling Boss is not exciting.
What?
I think it's. I mean, to every single person, what is fun is different, right? But to me, I feel like the boss is fun or enjoyable, then obviously I'm gonna find it exciting. I think to be that, it has to be not that similar between kills.
Okay.
Obviously, you know, like Croesus, I hate it because it's kind of just the same thing.
Right.
And one big downside of Croesus was that a huge part of it is just waiting around because you're kind of time locked by the second blobs on the floor. So I think, you know, stuff where you can do high damage and it will actually reward you in the kill. So you feel like you're actually, you know, making a difference in the kill, kind of. Those things are always, you know, good. At the end of the day, it's kind of very boss specific, what people enjoy and what people don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite bosses are like Raksha. Honestly, Raksha's probably my favorite boss. I'm not really sure why. It just always has been. I really like Seryu. I really like the Sanctum boss, obviously. I think it's really, really well designed. But yeah, I think, I don't know. Some bosses you just enjoy and some bosses you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I think Raziel as a boss, obviously it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Because it was designed to be simple. I think it's a really good boss though, for what it's designed to do. I just really didn't like killing it because I don't like using Necromancy much. And because obviously it's forced Necromancy, then it was just like a pretty dull log for me. I didn't really have much of an interest in it. But then, what were the logs before? Like, you know, there's obviously a lot of bosses I really like enjoy. Obviously, you know, the good ones like Rago, Salak, all that kind of stuff. But like Karapak's really fun. I don't like wave-based stuff, so I hate Kiln and I hate Zuck. Zuck's just not. I think it has really good elements in the fight.
Yeah.
And then some parts that I just hate. They just feel frustrating or annoying or honestly just boring. Like the wave type stuff, I just don't enjoy as much. And I think part of the reason it comes back to that like theory crafting what to do part. Because like if I'm doing a boss, like let's just say like, you know, Nakacho, if I'm doing a boss, I can like plan my sun, plan my defenses, plan where I'm doing damage, that kind of stuff, right? But then if I'm doing like the waves, it's like, okay, I just do a couple of AoEs and they die. Like there's not much that goes into it, so it feels like an almost pointless part of the fight to me. Which obviously isn't good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of stuff I'm really not a fan of. It always makes Mod Ryan, I don't know if I'd say laugh or cry. Because obviously he made Zuck, and I'm not really a fan of Zuck at all.
Yeah.
And he made Archaeology, which I also wasn't really a fan of.
Really?
Archaeology is an iffy one.
Okay.
So I like the skill. I think it's a really good skill.
Right.
I just hate training it.
Okay.
Because I have no interest really in AFK type skilling.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
Because, yeah, it's like, whenever people say they enjoy AFK skills, I don't get it. Because I feel like when you enjoy an AFK skill, you're actually just enjoying watching a show on the other monitor.
Yeah.
You're not actually enjoying the skill, right?
Uh-huh.
So to me, I just don't have any value with an AFK type content, because if I want to play the game, I want to play the game.
Right.
I don't want to be not playing the game, I guess. So yeah, I'm not really a fan.
You know, I get that. I definitely don't consider AFK and skills to be playing the game, which is, I don't know. I think that's normal, right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I think it's normal, but then a lot of people like them.
Like, I like that you can AFK skills just because if I want to get something done while I have a lot of work, for example, it's nice to make progress and do
It's
whatever.
nice for that.
I'm definitely not playing the game. Like, it's I
Yeah,
don't enjoy it like necessarily.
yeah,
as a
yeah. So that's
skill.
why I'm of the view of like archaeology is a really good skill, but I don't enjoy training it at all.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like necromancy, I think is a really good skill. It's designed really well, and I think training it is good. But I don't like using it for combat, I guess. So it feels similar to archaeology in the sense that it's good, but I'm not a fan of it.
Is it just too repetitive, like the same thing?
It's not so much repetitive. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is repetitive in a sense, but it's like once you've kind of mastered the style and kind of reached the top end, you can't really go further from there. Which is obviously the same for every style, because once you reach the top end, you can't go further. But I think you reach the top end sooner with necromancy, like significantly sooner.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like after a short amount of time, I had kind of reached a point where I was like, okay, there's not much else new to this style. I'm kind of bored with it. Whereas even with like the other three styles that have been around for millions of years, there's still new things coming out, and there's still new
Yeah.
pieces and new rotations that people are always improving on and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So they've always just felt more enjoyable because there's more to do, I guess. Like, I think necromancy was a really good skill for the game and was okay. For most of the reasons, I think necromancy was a really good skill for the game. It was great that it got people into PvM. It was great that it made them able to kill bosses they weren't able to kill.
Yeah.
It was great that it kind of gave you like an upgrade order that wasn't locked behind like billions of GP. Like it's really good for that. I think the main downside is just the level of damage it does is one thing I'm not a fan of. But like excluding that, I think it's a really good combat style and a really good thing for the game. I just don't think it's for me, because when I'm PvMing, I'm wanting a little bit more to do, I guess.
I love magic.
I've like throughout most of my time playing RuneScape and the recent like since like 2016 or so around there, I've always done PvM. So at different time periods, I've always enjoyed different styles. So I've always had like every style I've always enjoyed the most at some point. Like currently my favorite style is ranged. I think that's true of a lot of people that are kind of higher PvMers, because it's just so it does so much damage, but also it's a little bit more.
It requires you to actually like, work for it.
There's more with like like EOFs and like ammo and like bulge stacks and all that kind of stuff, right? So I think it can get pretty technical at the high end, but then that means it can get pretty enjoyable. But then like I used to really enjoy magic when around like the C4 tick days. I loved melee with like greater barge and stuff. Like I've loved every style as a favorite at some point.
Yeah.
Like I feel like around the time when I started to actually get significantly better at PvM and started to actually do speeds was when I did a lot of melee. So melee will always be my like deep down favorite style.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy using whatever, to be honest, except for necromancy. we don't do necromancy.
Yeah, that's actually a question I had written down for your rapid fire questions, because I figured you'd have some thoughts about that. But I was going to ask you what your favorite RuneScape combat meta was.
Combat meta.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean by combat meta?
You know, like basically what you were just talking about when Fortic was kind of the thing everyone was doing, or when it was like Fasoa when that came out, or Melee, and I like.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah.
yeah.
I see. It's tricky. Like, so C4 tick, like back in the day, was before they changed, like before they removed the C4 tick interaction, and now it's just 4 ticking. I really liked. It obviously was repetitive because the whole idea was you would just do the same action every ability.
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy it, and I feel like around that time was when I started to become better at PvM, which is maybe why I did enjoy it. But it didn't make rotations that interesting. Similar, I think, to FSOA. FSOA I really enjoyed, like pre-nerf FSOA.
Right.
But it also didn't make rotations that interesting because you were kind of just like using your Armored or Battle Staff, and then using your Armored or Battle Staff, and then using your Armored or Battle Staff. So it was a little bit uninteresting, despite being quite fun. In reality, I think Greater Barge was one of the best changes and additions. Like, it feels reasonably minor in the grand scheme of things compared to, you know, like a big weapon like a Burvlast Guardian or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was always just quite fun because it didn't massively change how you use the style, but it still felt, you know, powerful and useful and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I was a big fan of Greater Barge. I mean, recently we have like Burvlast Guardian, which I'd say has kind of changed a lot of the range meta because you're dealing damage in different ways. And Burvlast Guardian I really like because it's stack based. So there's a little bit more interaction as a player. It's not kind of like FSOA where you just like do an ability and hope you crit, right? You're like you're planning your rotation around the stacks,
Right.
which I really like. So yeah, I'd have to say favorite like would either be the Burvlast Guardian or the Greater Barge, to be honest. Although I have so many fun records with FSOA that like I can't not include it, you know? Like a lot of like I think my Taraket's an interesting boss because it's such like an irrelevant boss in the grand scheme of all the bosses in RuneScape.
Yeah.
But I think two of my most well-known relevant records have both been at Taraket, just at different time periods. Because a long time ago I got the first solo skip at Taraket, which was with Melee, and that was a 34-second time. And then a lot more recently, like during like FSOA meta,
Right.
I got a 9-second mage Taraket. And both of those kills like I really like. And it's just so weird because it's just like such a irrelevant random boss. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do 2 relevant kills there. I should have picked a more relevant boss.
How do you pick your bosses?
It's honestly that's honestly a question I've never been asked.
Sorry.
No, I just have to like think. I don't really know. I mean, so I would say nowadays there's definitely a little bit less competitiveness in the PvM record scene.
Right.
But it used to be that obviously you were aiming to beat the previous time. So whenever you were like picking a boss, there was definitely an element of what time on the sheet is reasonably beatable.
Yeah.
So there's definitely that, because I think I don't remember what the Taraket time was before mine, but it wasn't like a skip. So I knew that obviously if I get a skip, I would get a substantial time save. But a lot of it is just what bosses I enjoy and what I'm killing at that time in a casual sense. Like Raksha's it's a boss I've speed killed many times but I feel like I've never really necessarily cared too much about speed killing it. I've always just killed it casually with whatever the current meta is, and then been like, oh, I can do this and this and this, and then I can get a fast kill kind of thing, right? It just kind of like happens. So yeah, a lot of it is just whatever I just happen to be killing casually at the time, I guess. There's definitely not as much planning as it might seem. It's kind of just like, yeah, I'll go kill that. I think Vindicta is kind of like my boss. Like if you were like, hi, pick a boss, and that's your speed killing boss, then it's like Vindicta. Because that's the one I've always done stuff at. And I think that was always just because that was actually the first boss I ever speed killed. So that always felt like my guy, you know? Mm-hmm. Like my buddy.
Yeah. Vintage your boy.
Yeah. Because I actually got into speed killing, so I don't remember what clan I was in, but I was guesting in another clan. And they were hosting a speed kill competition at Vindicta. And it was open to non-carnies as well. So I was like, yeah, I'll join that. That sounds fun. And then that's kind of where it all started, really. Because I got a good time in that competition. Well, I say a good time. It was a good time for when the competition was active. I believe it was about a 40-second kill. Which nowadays it's like a slow AFK time.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, and that's kind of what got me into it. So like my first like proper speed kill I tried was then also at Vindicta, which was a 28-second kill, I believe. And then since then I've just, that's just always been my boss that I've kind of just like gone back to whenever I felt like there's been like some change that couldn't help speed kills.
Yeah.
And it's just always like interesting because I feel like I did speeds a while ago. Like in the grand scheme of things, speeds have been around for ages, so it's not like that long ago. But I did speeds a while ago when like Hellworld Pleb was like one of the best speed killers, and like B was like one of the best speed killers, and they were always the players that you like looked towards. You'd be like, damn, that's a sick time. But now they like obviously they don't even play it. It's like different players that are like at the top level.
Yeah.
So it's like it always feels weird when you're around for like more than one like set of players because you see like the different names come in and things.
Well, now you're like one of them.
I'd say to some extent. But I feel like I'm starting to reach the end of my enjoyment for speeds, I guess.
Right.
So I feel like I definitely do less speeds than I used to, 100%.
Yeah. What's causing that?
I mean, I think it's just different things, I guess. I mean, I think obviously the power creep that has come into RuneScape has definitely affected it in some way. I feel like also I'm just more busy in life. I don't have 120 hours to just sit and kill Vindicta now. So yeah, and I think it's also just because the meta has become a little bit dull to me.
Right.
Like a lot of this, like what I'm I guess known for is short melee speeds. That's kind of like my standard thing. But nowadays a lot of short melee speeds are basically the same rotation kind of everywhere. So it feels a lot more uninteresting to me.
Right.
So there's like I enjoy speeds. I enjoy seeing new kill times. I enjoy seeing like people getting cool times. But I don't care as much myself to actually do them, I guess. But I still like speed killing or speed anything as like a play style, I guess you could call it that. Like I like doing speed clues. Obviously the skilling boss I just did a speed for isn't exactly PvM, but I really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not really PvM. You don't actually hit anything, so like because like I used to do dungeoneering maybe like 3-4 years ago now or so, I was not like, so I tried. Generally, when people say dungeoneering, they basically mean they're trying to do like fast dungeons, because the whole premise of dungeoneering is you just trying to do it fast. So
Yeah.
I enjoy to do like speed engineering. I was never that good at it. That's not me being like, yeah, I wasn't good and I was like really good. No, I was just pretty bad at it. Which is probably why I don't do it anymore. But I really enjoyed it, which is obviously what matters. And I obviously really enjoyed like speedrunning clues.
Yeah.
And so doing the new skilling boss, trying to speedrun it, it felt like dungeoneering and cluing just kind of together.
Yeah.
Like it had that same feel. So I think that's why I really enjoyed it. I'm still just scarred from the catcher when all the 4 little dogs spawned, and I was like, "What's happening?"
Have you done a 4-man?
No, this is the first time I have done anything for solo.
There's so many dogs in a 4-man.
I can imagine, yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I honestly don't know why this boss goes to 4.
I feel like they should have just made the HP higher.
Yeah.
Rather than add more. Because I think, yeah, that's one thing that I feel RuneScape doesn't do that well with a lot of bosses. So it feels like there's an incentive to solo and not group.
Yes.
Like Elite Dungeons is like a big one, like obviously for so long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The drop rates was just so bad in Elite Dungeons that you basically never did group there. And even now, the drop rates are the same. But because obviously proportionally you can kill solo faster than you can with the extra group kills. It basically just means that there's still not really a reason to group, which I don't really like. But then the other thing is I don't actually do much group PvM. But then maybe I don't do much group PvM because of that. Like it's a lose-lose.
Do you prefer
Like whenever I'm
group?
doing, it depends on who it's with and what the boss is, I guess. Like obviously, like there's kind of 2 types of group PvM to me. There's obviously like going with players that are really good and you're aiming for like good times and stuff. And then there's obviously just going with people that you just like to chill on Discord with and chat with and just like have a good time and mess around. And I like both of them. They're obviously just different.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays I don't do group as much because I don't like I'm obviously a PVM. I'm known for PVMing, but I don't actually PVM that much. And that's gonna sound weird, but I just don't. So like whenever if someone's like, hi, do you want to come AOD or Raga or Solak or something, like I haven't done those bosses in so long that I don't really know what like the meta is or like the rotation or like that kind of stuff. So I always just say no because I have no idea what to do.
Yeah.
I guess because it's just like I don't actively PVM a lot with a lot of those kind of bosses, I guess. So generally, although I like group PVM, I don't really do it much. And then, like everyone, obviously I like chilling in Discord and just like, you know, hit boss, chill with friends. But a lot of the people that I like enjoy talking to and that would like chill on RuneScape and everything don't play as much anymore. So I generally just kind of do my own thing.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay,
You made
hit me
think
with
of
it.
a question. Do you think that it's, I don't want to say better, but we'll just say better for lack of a different word coming to my mind right now. But do you think it's better for bosses in the game to be scaled, to be kind of developed with a group in mind and scaled to solo, or developed with solo in mind and scaled to group?
This is always a tricky one because there's so much stuff around this discussion.
Yeah.
It's obviously like a discussion that still hasn't been like solved, I guess, because you know, everyone has an opinion. I think some of the best bosses in RuneScape have always been group bosses. I think Virago, like obviously that's a group boss. That's a really good boss. Solak was a group boss, which is a really good boss in my opinion. I think Yakamaru, although it's like not a boss I really kill much nowadays, arguably it has really good mechanics and obviously is a group boss. what else is there? I don't know. But like I feel like a lot of the like S tier really good bosses were always group bosses. So I feel like when they design it with a group boss in mind, they can have really interesting mechanics that can be pretty cool. The downside is if you then scale that group boss to solo, the solo boss doesn't really have those mechanics because being in a group makes it good, right?
Yeah.
So like last phase solo, like I think it's a really interesting mechanic with the whole damage and then also go into the mind and like clear out the ghost and everything. But it's obviously a bit different now with power creep because you don't actually need to do that. You just kill the boss. But in solo, you obviously don't have those like 2 players or 3 players or how many players like splitting up in different areas. And it's kind of like I feel like Yakamaru obviously isn't so like scaled to solo, but similar mechanics with Yakamaru, like if you got sanded or like passing the blue around, like they wouldn't really work as a solo mechanic. So I prefer when a boss is like. That's the thing. Every good boss is group. Let's just be real. Or like, most group bosses are really good.
Yeah.
But then obviously if you want to solo, because obviously there's a big talk about, oh, I should be able to solo this boss, which I don't necessarily agree with, but I 100% understand.
Right.
Then turning that boss into solo makes it kind of meh. But then on the flip side, if you design it for solo and then just scale it up to group, I feel like it doesn't really have any of those interesting mechanics. It sometimes falls a bit flat.
Yeah.
So it's honestly it's a tricky one. I think it massively depends on the type of mechanic.
Right.
In reality, I think a lot of the like solo versus group issue comes just because people don't have people they want to like solo with or group with, which is obviously a big issue because if a boss you effectively have to group, but you don't have anyone to group with for whatever reason, then it kind of locks you out of that boss, which can feel bad. So I'm of the view that I'm not of the view that every boss should be soloable. I don't agree with that, but I feel that it's not like everything should be forced group. There should be, some pieces of solo content that you can do without feeling like you need to be with someone.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one, I don't know. I'd probably say make it solo and scale it up, just so that the solo method feels better. Because I think the majority of kills anywhere are solo.
Probably.
So
right?
I would highly assume so. Yeah. So if you want the mode that people kill the most to feel the best, then I think you have to design it for solo, and accept that the group might not have as interesting mechanics as maybe something like Yaka or Solak or that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of a lose-lose. Like it's hard for the devs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's hard for the devs. End of the day, whatever they design, we won't like. So they might as well just do whatever, and it'll be fine.
That's very true.
Like,
and we're still gonna play it.
Yeah, we're still gonna play it. We're gonna hate playing it, and we're gonna complain about it, but we're still gonna play it.
You mentioned Joanna.
Yeah. Jonna.
Jonah?
Jonna. Yeah.
Jonna.
I think she. Whenever people say like, if I had a cent for every time someone did something.
Yeah.
She would like be a millionaire if she had a cent for every time someone said or spelt her name correctly. No, incorrectly. Sorry, yeah, incorrectly. Correctly would be pretty good.
Hey, I made an attempt.
you made an attempt. It's okay. You're better than most people. I think Joanna's the common one.
I've only ever seen it written, so.
If it makes you feel better, when I first talked to her, I said it wrong as well, so it's okay.
Oh, I mean, like I'm totally not surprised, but Jonna, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, I've learned.
What's worse is when she'll be like sending an email or something, like at work or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously her name is literally at the bottom and people will still misspell it.
Yeah.
That's when, like, you know, they just don't care.
Literally don't care, yeah.
Yep.
Do you Matt play RuneScape?
Yes.
Do you have like a
We've
cute
met.
RuneScape? How I met?
I don't know if it's that interesting. Basically, like a long time ago, like that wasn't really like a one moment, but like a lot of the time in kind of like probably 2017, 2018 or so, around there, I spent killing Yakamaru, like just off loot fun kills with like friends and everything, which is just because I really enjoyed the boss. I think it's like a great boss. And she basically was also just killing Yakamaru a lot. So we were both kind of just see each other like doing our own like group kills and whatever, and we'd ended up just like, you know, kind of ending up in the same friend group of hi, wake up, kill Yakamaru, repeat kind of thing.
Okay.
Which was really fun because, like, you know, you could like take learners and you could just do feats and like, you know, there was a lot of like fun things we did. But it was essentially just like, you know, when you're just like around someone for just so long and you're like, you know, you guys are good friends, but like you get to just like know them really well, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I like this one. So yeah, there wasn't really like a moment, I guess, like a particular moment. It was just like basically just like years of just doing RuneScape stuff together, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then we first met in person. Like we kind of like started dating, but like online, which
dating.
which like I don't really like consider. Like it technically is kind of proper dating if you think of it, because like it's still like, you know, a person, whatever, you talk to them, you video call them, whatever.
Yeah.
But like we would consider like the start of our actual relationship basically when we met properly, which was just October 2018. So that was when we like first met. Yeah, it's a while ago. It's a while ago now. And then obviously like because obviously we're in different countries, we would meet every so often. And then I moved here and went to school here and live with her. So that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah, and you're engaged?
We are, yes.
Spooky
adult things. Adult things are spooky.
Adult things.
No one wants to do adult things.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are.
That's exciting.
We're definitely like pretty like low key with it. Like it's not like I really would ever really call her like a fiance. Although like she is, obviously, I would just like say like my girlfriend or something because it just feels more normal to me. But yeah, so we are engaged. Yeah. We'll get married at some point, probably. Unless she leaves me.
I hope so.
Wait, what do you mean you hope so?
Well, you're the best. I would assume so.
Incorrectly timed, I hope so.
No, not for the leaving you part. For the getting married part.
Starting to feel a bit hostile here.
Sorry, my brain's a little slow. My screen's white again. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Blacked out for a second there. That's awesome. I had to ask because I love hearing those stories. You're definitely the first that I've heard that met at Yaka.
Yeah.
It's not
like
common.
No, it's not quite a common one. I think I feel like obviously like people say RuneScape's not a dating site, it basically is.
Yeah.
Because I think it's whenever you're around someone and chilling with someone, but you're not necessarily being like, okay, hi, this is a date, right? Yeah. Like if you go out and you're like, hi, this is a date, it's like it's just a bit more awkward or something. But if you're just like around them and you're just like chilling and doing your own thing, I feel like you get to know them really well. So I feel like you kind of automatically reach a point where you want to spend time with that person if you enjoy being with them, right? So it kind of just like naturally happens. So I think that's why a lot of people end up meeting over RuneScape, because they just, you know, if you're PvMing together, you know, you're just chilling all day, like on Discord or whatever. You reach a point where you're like, you're spending a lot of time with this person, even though there aren't necessarily intentions of you dating or anything. It just kind of naturally happens.
Was it an easy decision to go to the US?
Do you mean to move here?
Yeah.
I'd say yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, obviously, like, I love my family and everything, and I love being around them. But when I was at school, I went to like a boarding school, so I wasn't like around them as often as like normal, I guess. So as much as I love them, I'm not as connected in the sense that I need to be around them.
Yeah.
Like, obviously my relationship with my parents is like really good, whatever. But it's not like while I'm here, like I have to call them or talk to them. Like, you know, we just kind of exist in our own little worlds, and then you know, when we see each other or talk, we're always, you know, we're happy, whatever. So I didn't really feel like I would, you know, miss them much, or like it would be bad in that sense. Obviously moving country is more than like just your family. There's obviously it's a different country. But I feel like it's not too different.
It's like similar enough.
Yeah, like, because like obviously Europe or like a lot of the world has like, you know, a lot of different countries. So if I was from somewhere that was significantly different, then it would feel potentially worse, or, you know, a lot more different, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like UK feels very similar to America in the sense of like, you know, the main things, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's honestly not been a massive like culture difference at all.
Okay.
I definitely prefer the UK.
Really?
If I'm honest. But it's not like I dislike America. I think it partly is just whenever you're younger, you like what you're used to.
Yeah.
So like, there's always just like things you'd like miss, I guess. And they're always like completely minor things, like a random food you like or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm obviously like not against living in America at all. Like, let's just say like hypothetically, right? Me and John are split up for whatever reason. I guess then reason to be in America is like, there isn't one, because I came here for her. But I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going to be back to England. Like, I do like it being here. So it would definitely be a decision and not like go back to England kind of thing, right? So I definitely would be like happy, you know, living here long term. But yeah, overall, it's not actually too different, I think. I think once you're in an area for a couple months or so, like more than a holiday, the things that are different then just feel so normal.
Yeah.
You know, like driving on a different side of the road, like, you know, like, so some people that sounds like insane, like, what, you're on like the whole other side, but it's like you get used to it so fast, it's just like not even a consideration. Food, I think, is a big one. And my hot take is I prefer the food in the UK.
What? Really?
Yes.
What? Wait, which food? Wait.
Okay, wait. Okay, wait, let me explain. It'll make sense. Trust, it'll make sense, okay? So, if I'm going out to eat, or if someone else is making me food, like, compared to like, you know, like English cuisine or American cuisine, then like American cuisine is better. If I want to go out to like a restaurant, I would rather go in America than in England. And I think most people would probably be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But if I'm going to like the shop or whatever and just buying ingredients or buying like snacks or buying like those kind of things that, you know, like your own like home food, I would rather be in England, because I feel like
Okay.
a lot of the things I like either aren't the same here, or they're just like not as nice, or stuff like that. So in terms of like whenever people are like, yeah, British food is really crap, generally what they mean is traditional British cuisine food is really crap, which I can get on board with because it mostly is. But in terms of if I'm going to a shop to buy food for a week of groceries, I would rather be in England than America.
Okay.
You get my point.
Fair. That's okay.
It makes sense now.
Yes.
So, yeah, like whenever I go to England, I'm definitely like in a shop, like, oh damn, I love this, I miss this kind of thing. But it's like, if I'm going out to eat, I could be in either country, and it wouldn't really make much of a difference to me. It's honestly like probably nicer in America because there's generally more variety with things. Obviously, it depends where you live, if you're like in a big city or not. The one thing obviously America does nice is like Mexican, Hispanic food, and I think they do like East Asian food well, like like Vietnamese, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I think the one thing they don't do as well, obviously, is Indian food.
Okay.
Which the UK, we like our Indian food.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in reality, it's a weird thing. I feel like this is a discussion I have a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's kind of weird in a sense. Because whenever someone's like, "Oh yeah, America has good Indian food," generally what they mean is the one place near me that I specifically go to have my Indian food has better Indian food than the other place. So it's like, to me, when I say America doesn't do good Indian food, what it actually means is there's nowhere close to me that does good Indian food. And in England, there's a place close to me that does good Indian food.
Yeah.
So I think where you live massively changes your perception. Even if you move like an hour down the road, your perception will be different because you'll have different food places you go to.
Right.
So I think a lot of it is like, as an average, like, yeah, America obviously does really good burritos and all that kind of stuff, right? But at somewhere in some country, there's probably a really good burrito place that you wouldn't expect to be there. And you're like, yeah, this place is really good. But it's not like that country has good burritos. It's just that one place, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's like a lot of it depends on your specific scenario, like what's near where you specifically live. But if I'm going to like a shop, I'd rather be in the UK.
One thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, and you brought it up to me, and I had actually written something down prior to that because I think it's really interesting. You've been doing a lot of cool animation stuff.
I have.
Yeah.
They've been really fun. So obviously in the old school scene, a lot of creators have been using Blender, which is like the software program to make a lot of animations. And I've always thought it was really cool. And I'd like played around with a little bit of it. And then a while ago, actually, I'm not too sure how long ago it was. Let's say 6 months, although I think it's probably a little longer, maybe like 9 months or so.
Yeah.
The artist guy was talking with someone that was a professional in the industry. And they had a call about Blender because I think he saw something on his Twitter. And him, artist guy, and me ended up just sitting on a Discord call, and he basically just talked about Blender to us for a couple hours or so, which was really cool. Yeah. And then from that point, me and artist guy basically just together started learning Blender. And I think because obviously artist guy's a lot busier than I am, I think he got to a point where it could just kind of sat on the back burner and hadn't really touched it in a while, and I just kind of kept at it and kept doing stuff really. And then over the time, I've made a couple animations that I've just really enjoyed.
Pretty cool.
I made so I made a Telos one, which was the first one I did, and that was in one of Ryan's videos. And I made couple like random small ones. I made a Zamorak one, which was also in one of Ryan's videos actually. That one was cool. I think so. With a lot of it, it's pulling assets from RuneScape.
Mm-hmm.
So you, in theory, can make something that looks really cool that doesn't actually have much effort or much creation in it, I guess. So that's kind of how the Telos one was. Whereas the Zamorak one, there was a lot more like of my own stuff that I did with it. And then with the recent one that I did for the Skidding Boss, which I really like, that was also more like a lot more like of my own thing. So I really enjoy doing them, but and like I still want to improve. Like I'm definitely like early in the like learning process.
Yeah.
Because although they can look cool, there's still like a long way to go to make stuff really good. But generally, I find it hard sometimes to get motivation for. I mean, this is the same for everything, not just like animations. But I find it hard to get motivation to make an animation for something unless I'm like truly like invested in doing that.
Right.
So I think I was watching Irish Guy's stream, and I saw, you know, the Skidding Boss when like you jump from the last pillar to the boss, and there's that like cool flying animation. I saw that and I was like, damn, that's like so cool.
Yeah.
And then from that point, it's like, okay, I want to make an animation, and that was on like the Friday, and I wanted to get it out before the Monday because that was the release. So I like spent basically the weekend doing that. So like, because it was like such a small time period, I was like, right, I'm motivated to just like get this done. And there's still parts of it that I don't like. Like if I could change it now, I would. There's still parts of it that are iffy, but it's like I don't progress with learning it unless I have a reason to do something.
Right.
So I don't know when the next animation will be. It might be a week. It might be 5 months. I don't know.
How much
but generally,
time
if I
goes into that, like the gate one, for example, like how much actual
the gate
time?
one was 10 hours of
Really?
actual time.
Yeah.
But that also because I recorded like every hour of like I had a continuous recording of me doing it because I wanted to make a time lapse. I thought that'd be kind of cool. It turned out not looking that good actually. I might upload it, I might not. But so that's how I know exactly how long it was. It was basically 10 hours.
Okay.
But that probably includes about an hour, maybe half an hour of like rendering time between making a scene and it rendering for me to then look at it and see what I need to change. So you could probably say like 9 hours or so.
Yeah.
But then obviously if you remake a scene, it will be significantly less because you know what you're planning on doing. A lot of scenes, like I have one plan of like, I want this specific shot. And then everything else that happens just kind of gets added as I'm doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's probably not a good way to do it. I probably should have a plan going into it, but I generally don't. But yeah, so like whenever I see like in RuneScape something that I really think is cool and I want to make an animation for, then I'll do it. But like if that doesn't happen, then I definitely don't have the motivation to just make one for the sake of making one, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know when the next animation will be. I'd love to do more of it, but it's like such a big time investment, I guess.
Yeah.
A short-ish animation, I guess. Like it's cool, but like I could spend like 10 hours making like an actual proper full video of something.
Yeah.
Which in theory is probably better time spent. So yeah, I'm sure what will happen with it, but I'm really enjoying learning it and stuff.
I have a question really like out of left field.
Okay.
What's up with the carrot behind you?
The carrot?
Yeah.
You like him?
He's kind of cute. I also maybe like looks a little plotty. Like he looks like he might be a little menacing, a little.
No, he's just happy. He's just a little cute little bug.
schemy.
Do you like the frog as well?
He's a little derpy. But yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like cute, random, weird plushies.
Yeah.
I guess not specifically plushies, just like anything.
Yeah.
like these boys. I like them.
Yeah.
I got a little froggy here.
Oh yeah.
I like him.
Who's furry?
I got these random blobs. I don't know what they're for. I just like them. Like, yeah, I just like, random stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got him. I was like, yeah, I'll check him there. Like me and Jonna as a total have a ton of plushies.
Really?
Like we're not adults. We're not adults. So yeah, I had a turtle that I think used to be here, but I think moved. But yeah, just like random cool animals or carrots or whatever. Like yeah, I'm a fan of those. I'm still a child.
What a strange interaction. Someone stood did you see that? They stood between us and said
Yes.
nice 42069 and then said you're loved and you have value, heart. That's very sweet.
I'll hit him with a thanks. There we go. Now he knows that we care. But he has wings on. So we don't have value his opinion.
Yes, we don't. But I'm also wearing wings right now, so
it's time to whip out my wings then.
Oh god, look at his he changed his outfit.
Oh god.
He's matching my energy and that's not good. Oh, just a quick little question also. Do you still play on a trackpad?
Yes, I do.
Why do you do that?
Of course I do. Okay. So I feel like I start every question having to justify my opinion.
I'm very judgy. I'm sorry. I've been attacking you this whole time.
So when I first started playing RuneScape, or when I first started playing using a computer, like when I was a kid, I used a mouse like a normal person, like everyone, right? And then I got a laptop from my parents when I was like small, like younger, right? And I don't know why, I just didn't care to plug in a mouse. I just used the trackpad on it. I was like, yeah, this is fine. Because like, I don't know how old I was. Like, I'm not fucking sitting there playing RuneScape at a high level. I'm probably like, I don't know, playing mini-click games or something. Yeah, I don't know, right?
Okay.
So like, it just didn't matter, I guess. And then ever since then, whenever I've got a laptop, so my next laptop after that was like a Mac, like an early Mac. I'm not actually sure why I got a Mac. Like I didn't actually care. At the time I just needed a new laptop, and I didn't care if it was Windows or Mac. I just ended up getting one. I can't remember. And because the Mac trackpad is so good,
okay.
Like for people who haven't tried a trackpad or have tried a Windows trackpad,
yeah,
a Mac trackpad is so different. Like it might be different now because I haven't really used a Windows laptop in years, but they're so like precise and so accurate that it's really easy, I think, to click where you want. So ever since then, I just used the trackpad, got a new laptop, never used a mouse, and we've basically just reached a point where I exclusively use a trackpad and have for the last 10 years or so. And like I'm not like awful with a mouse. Like I could use a mouse, I could click what I wanted. It's not like I would be rubbish, but I genuinely have a better click accuracy with a trackpad now than with a mouse. Like it's to the point where I'm so used to a trackpad and so not used to a mouse that I can click better with the trackpad. And like the people have always asked me like, why don't you like switch? And it's like, I don't see the need. Because I feel like there's probably some very, very rare cases where if I got to a level where I had a really good click accuracy on a mouse, I could be more efficient than a trackpad. But in like 99.9% of places, I'm never needing to click better than I can.
Yeah.
Like, like I can do like fast clues, like, and that's a ton of movement. Like I'm moving around, like I feel comfortable doing that. So there's never a reason for me to swap because I'm happy with what I have. And I feel like I wouldn't be better. So this whole time I've just chilled with the trackpad, really. It definitely, honestly, it has an upside for PvMing, I feel like. Because I can use keybinds on the whole of my keyboard. So, like, essentially, every single key on my keyboard is keybound.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
So, just like I just have access to whatever I want, without having to like use like a mouse with like a shift button or something like that. So it's honestly kind of nice that I can just like use any keybind and not have to really care that I'm like, oh, am I pressing like shift on my mouse, or like, you know, have a mouse like binds. So I feel like that's one of the reasons I wouldn't want to swap. Like, even if I would be better with a mouse, it's that I would then have to relearn essentially all my keybinds and the whole way I would play. And I just be like, no, that's just not happening.
No, that's not what we
That's
do
not
at
happening.
this point.
Yeah. No. I think I'm too deep to rechange all my stuff.
No, that's when you retire, when you have to relearn all your keybinds.
Yep. So, yeah, like a large amount of my keybinds are like all over the... Like, honestly, looking at my keyboard, I can't think of a key that isn't keybound to something.
Oh my god.
So, like, I utilize like the whole... Yeah. Once you get to a high level in PvM, you get to a point where you've used the ability so much that you just, you know what the keybind is without having to think about it or look at it.
That's so many.
So like it's not really like a consideration really. But it's like my weapon binds. So something that I would use like very often, they're on like comma, full stop, and like / which are like all the way on the right of the keyboard.
Yeah.
But it's like, they're so easy for me to press because I can use both hands for my keyboard, basically.
Yeah.
That it's just like not an issue, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I think people see me using a trackpad and they're impressed and like it's cool, get the ego going and everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not that impressive once you've used it for so long and you're so used to it.
Yeah.
It feels as natural as using a mouse to most people, basically. So it's definitely different, but I wouldn't call it like impressive or anything. It's just different, right? It's fun though. It definitely has its upsides. Like, I don't know how many records I've done, but I would imagine that probably like 50% of them I have done while lying in bed. Genuinely. I don't play as much now because since I've moved to America, I have a lot more space. But like when I was obviously living with my parents and you kind of just have your bedroom, a lot of the time I would just play RuneScape lying in bed.
Yeah.
And like I would be as comfortable just lying in bed with my trackpad as being at a desk, right? So a lot of records I've done just like lying in bed. Like I remember doing Yaka with Jono while sitting in an airport one time waiting for a flight. One time I was visiting Jono and she was at class. Like I walked to class with her and then waited for her, and I was sitting in like this weird like waiting room in like her school or whatever. And I remember getting one of my records while sitting there. I think it was Magister. Yeah, one of my Magister records. Like, so it's nice that you, obviously not just for RuneScape, you know, that everything else you can do, but it's nice that I can just like do anything on my laptop anywhere without feeling like I'm hindered by using a trackpad. It's definitely nice for that. Like I can just sit wherever I want.
Is there anything that you feel like you want to say? Anything about your content, stuff coming up, what's going on? I don't know, that you want to get out before we I don't really wrap it up, but before we wrap it up. Any words of wisdom?
Any words of wisdom? Use a trackpad.
Yeah, okay. Any other words of wisdom?
Any words? No. I mean, in terms of content, like, I feel like I don't do much content nowadays. And I feel like I'm in a weird spot where I really enjoy making content. Like, I like making videos. I like making animations. I like streaming. Okay, I like streaming because I get to like chill with all like, you know, the people I enjoy. But it's not like it's not like it adds too much, right? Other than just like playing the game. But it's obviously nice to chill with people, chill with chatters, answer questions, that kind of thing. So I really like making content, but I don't necessarily care about being a content creator.
Right.
Does that make sense? I'm very happy to make content for myself or make content for other people, or, you know, like I've been spending significantly more time editing the RS Guys videos than my own videos because I don't really care about making content specifically for my channel or for my persona.
Yeah.
I just like making the content. So recently I feel like I haven't really done much YouTube wise. Like I've done a few speeds, but to me that's not really much. It's not really creating content in the sense of like making like a video or something. I've done a couple of videos. I did a couple of Rex videos recently, which I think people really liked, which was good. But in terms of actual like plans for video type stuff, I don't really know because I'm not really sure what's gonna what I'll end up doing.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like the more videos I make, the more people are interested in like the theory crafting of things and like the behind the scenes of like records and stuff. So I feel like if that's something people like, then I like to do more of those because I like explaining it to people. Currently, whenever I have a speed kill idea, I just explain it to Jonna and she pretends to care, but we all know she's not listening. So currently that's my like outlet for like explaining speeds. So I'm sure she would be happy if I made speeds videos related to like the actual like what goes into it. But yeah, like I don't care if it's on my channel or like RS Guy's channel videos or like just you know whatever I make. I like making the content. I don't necessarily care if it's got my name to it. I feel like as I've like I like being a content creator.
Yeah.
But I don't really care about the like being known or like being like, oh, it's this person. It's like, you know, back in the day when you see like the YouTuber that like you would look up to and you're like, holy crap, it's them. It's like I don't really care about like my like persona being like special as like a content creator. I just want to like make good videos, I guess. So yeah, pretty much it.
Was wrestlers. I didn't grow up looking up to YouTubers, but man, wrestlers. I lost my cool when I met my favorite
When you're
wrestler.
out and about and see the wrestler, you're like, yes. Who was your favorite wrestler?
Well, it just depends on. There's so
Based
many
upon that, I
different-
probably know no wrestlers.
Kids, I don't think they grew up watching wrestling like they did when I was younger.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. I've been diamond cutting longer than you've been alive, but it depends on. It's just like, how can you pick a favorite? You know, like Jeff Hardy and DDP were probably my.
I've heard of
and
Jeff
Kevin
Hardy.
Nash.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've heard of them.
Those are definitely my probably top three up there. But
okay. So you've got your top three wrestlers. This is important.
How do we end this one? We'll say.
I don't know.
This was great.
Yeah, we learned that I'm still a child. That's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty good. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Hot PvM. It was so great to hear Pup talk about his passion for the game and his life. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, like, subscribe, comment, share, and most importantly, be kind to one another. See you next time, friends.